Hey everyone, Pastor Dave here on the patio. Oh, what a beautiful day this is. Love to just be outside all the time, and of course we can't because this week things changed. We all started sheltering in place and all the rest of it. So that's changed everything at the church. I got Dan with me because he's going to help us with some of the things that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. But Dan, you kind of sheltered in place this last week. I mean, you were actually in the Carmel Valley area. You could have been at a campus somewhere. You were working on your PhD. Tell us about what happened this past week. I'm sure that you didn't get a lot of downtime.
There's no downtime, no. I have to go to my PhD campus a couple of times a year, and I was all ready to go to the campus, which is on the East Coast, and about 5 days before class was supposed to start, they pulled the plug and said it's going to be on Zoom. So one of our church members allowed me to stay at their place in the Carmel Valley, and it was just me alone in a house. So I've never been more isolated in my life, but it's exactly what I needed to get all of my work done. Getting up early, East Coast hours, and working all day. It's exactly what I needed, so I was glad to be able to do that, to get all the work done.
People have been asking as we went through this process, how in the world are you ever going to be able to do this and still be a lead pastor? And I have a little taste of it because I actually did my doctorate while I was a lead pastor. And quite frankly, you know what I found? It really helped the ministry. It helped me as a pastor in my walk with God and my leadership. Do you already see this being a positive for you as you look toward the future?
Right, yeah, maybe the best thing is there's somebody holding me accountable to read all these books. I think as pastors or anybody else, we always have a big book list that we would like to read, but the urgent hops in and you never get to read everything that you want to. So when there's a grade at the end of all of that, somebody's making you read all of this stuff, which all of it is applicable to what we're doing. I'm in leadership classes and evangelism classes, and that's obviously needed in the church. And so, yeah, it's been super helpful already to our ministry here.
Absolutely. Well, hey, there are other good things we could talk about. So this weekend you've called it the Thank You Weekend. So I'm not sure exactly all that's going on right now, and that's part of the reason why I felt like, you should say something about this weekend. If you want me to walk off camera, I can, but is there anything you'd like to say about this weekend that would be helpful for everybody as they're going to be, connecting to the weekend?
Right. Well, you definitely want to tune into our service on Sunday, where we have a very special thank you service planned for Dave, with various leaders in our church expressing their thanks to Dave for his years here and his decades of ministry overall. Last Sunday, Dave, you shared with us your journey in ministry, and this week we get to share how grateful we are for the years that Dave has served here. So definitely tune in on Sunday for our online service. And then Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m., instead of our coffee with a pastor, we're having a drive-through thank you for Dave and Bernice. They'll be here on the patio, and you can drive by and tell them thank you. That can be up to your comfort level. If you're somebody who wants to leave your windows up and just honk your horn and wave, that's great. Have a sign to hold up, that'd be fine. Or you can just roll down your window and express to them how grateful you are for their service at this church. We really wish that we could do more. We're upset of the changing rules around here that we can't hug you and tell you thank you. And Dave and Bernice are so humble and great. They're like, we don't want anybody to feel like they have to come out, but we're like, listen, our people are probably going to want to come out and do something, and we really do wish that it could be more, but we didn't want to delay this because we didn't want to say, hey, we can have a Hug Dave and Bernice service January 10th or 17th or 24th. We don't know, right? We don't know when we're going to be able to do that, so we didn't want later to become never. And so we're doing something this weekend, Sunday, 3 p.m., instead of the coffee with a pastor. If you are able, drive up here and drive by and tell them thank you. We understand for those of you who aren't able, and you can definitely keep sending in your cards. We are collecting those at the church, and whenever they come in, even if it's after the next couple of weeks, we will definitely forward them on to the Gudgels. So we know that you want to express your thanks, and we're grateful that you will take the time to do that in some way, email, card, drive by.
Thank you. Well, you know, we're very happy about this and thankful already. And however it turns out, it's going to be great. So we just so appreciate everything that's happened and just the opportunity to express our gratitude as well. But thank you. And then let's just go past that. Now, we got a couple of Christmas services. We were looking forward to not only having them online, but out here on the patio. Well, we can't have the patio thing now, so we're still planning for them online. But we've got December 20 and we've got December 24. Tell us about what's going to happen at those times, and tell us what your hope is to see come out of those services and how possibly other people can benefit by these services as well.
Well, the great thing about Christmas is that it's not, the goodness of Christmas is not tied to our circumstances, right? The goodness of Christmas is that our Savior came into our circumstances to reconcile us to God. So whatever is happening in our world, whether we're able to be together in person or not, we can always, always, always celebrate the birth of the Savior. In the Christmas Eve message, I'm calling Unruining Christmas, because some of us might feel like Christmas is ruined, right? We don't get to do all the things that we would normally do this Christmas. But Jesus comes in and gives us a mindset shift where we understand that Christmas is unruined. So coming out of this season, or even in the midst of this season, right, we want to look for the joy that He can bring, even when none of this is what any of us would have chosen, right?
So that's coming up the next week. A week from this Sunday will be December 20, the Christmas service, and then December 24th, the Christmas Eve service. And then we get to the New Year's time. You're going to do a message just before the end of the new year, or before the new year comes, I should say, before the end of this year, 2020, before we get to 2021. Looking forward to that message. Then I'm going to have an opportunity to preach on January 3rd as we introduce the new year. And then we get to January 10th, and that's going to be the installation of you as the new lead pastor. Get it on your calendar. Make sure that you're planning to connect with us on that service for sure. You've got a special guest that's going to be a part of that. Tell us just so we can begin to get excited.
Yeah, my Yoda, my Papa Smurf, my preaching professor is going to be able to preach for this installation service, and he has preached at untold numbers of seminaries around the world. He's one of the godliest men I've ever met, and I'm really excited that he'll be able to preach for this installation service.
So that's coming up as well. We have a number of great things happening in the life of the church right now. We thank God for that. Hey, and one of the things you could see where you clicked on this service, or it was part of the Constant Contact email that you received, there's a note there about our finances. Would you just pay special attention to that note? We really need to see some good offerings, some very generous offerings over the month of December in order to finish this 2020 part of our fiscal year. From September through December, simply said, we've fallen behind, and we need to have a very special time of giving over December to just get ourselves caught back up and start 2021 in a good shape financially. So please note that, would you? And please also make that a matter of prayer. Thanks, Dan, for being a part of the update today. We're excited about what God's doing, and we're looking forward to the weekend ahead and the weeks to come.